Everybody, you know what time it is. Coming up next, the Real Talk Sports Show, Saturday Sports Update. Bam! Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons, and this is our bi weekly Saturday Sports Update live from the offices of Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln. Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln is our premier sponsor, title sponsor for high school football. And oh, by the way, he's also my employer. So we're here at my desk here. You guys can see it right behind me here. This is how I'm set up here on Saturdays when I'm working. And again, we appreciate each and every one of you who are watching us, especially those who are watching on the replay. Those of you watching on demand, which means you said, you know what, I couldn't catch the Real Talk Sports Show live. So I said, I'm going to check them out at a later time and date. So I appreciate you very, very much. As a reminder, remember, follow us anywhere on social media at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. That's how you can follow us. And that's it, whether you're going on YouTube, whether you're going on Facebook, whether you're going on Twitter, even if you're going on Twitch, because we're on there too. Check us out right there. Follow us at Real Talk Sports 7. And remember, when you go to the YouTube page, hit that bell, ping, and you get the reminders when we are on the air, because you never know when we might pop up and do something live from a location near you. All right. As you know, we like to try to keep you updated what's cooking around Metro Atlanta and beyond. We go social media first and see what we got cooking here on social media. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Ladies and gentlemen, we got our man up in the north in Cummings, Georgia. Our man Sully is in the building. You know, he does it. Oh, shucky ducky. We back in this. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you, Sully. Appreciate you, man, for dropping in and checking us out here this morning. Well, look, you already know what time it is. If you're in the Atlanta metro area, it's all about the Bravos, the Atlanta Braves, once again, for the sixth consecutive time. I think for like the 25th time in the last 30 years, they are the Eastern Division champions. But all that don't mean a daggone thing because right now the standings are 0-0 as they now take on one of their arch nemesis from the NL East, the Philadelphia Phillies, in a rematch of a NLDS series that unfortunately last year the Bravos were shook up, upset, and shown the door by the Phillies. So certainly the Bravos trying to get some get back on them this year. And why shouldn't they? This is a team that is arguably the best team in baseball. The Braves won 104 games, only losing 58. And here's the cool thing about the Bravos. They were so strong that their record was the same on the road or at home. 52-29 at home at Truist Park, where they're going to be for the next 2 games starting today, and 52-29 on the road. That's pretty strong. Best record in baseball, I think, either way. Now, now here's the thing about the Braves. Uh, a lot of people here in the Atlanta area, which kind of is kind of funny, they were like, "Oh, we don't want to see the Phillies. We rather see play the Marlins." I'm like, "Come on, man, for real? I mean, who cares who you're playing? You got the best team in baseball, best record in baseball. To me, it's like bring them on." It's like Tommy Hearns. He used to come out to fight back in the day, and a lot of you guys probably don't get that reference because you're younger. But Google Tommy Hitman Hearns, one of the great fighters back in the 80s and 90s. And he used to come out with a robe, and on the back, all it would say, actually, excuse me, I'm sorry, my bad, my bad, my bad. Actually, Marvin Hagler used to come out with this. No, I think it was Hitman Hearns. Bottom line is, you just come in the back, let's get it on. That's it. So, Braves fans, why are you looking around talking about, oh, what about the Phillies? Who cares about the daggone Phillies? Let's just get it on, man. Let's go. Let's see what they got. Because here's the bottom line: the Braves have one of the most potent lineups in the history of Major League Baseball. As a matter of fact, they set records that were previously held by a team that only was known by its nickname, Murderers Row. Talking about the 1927 New York Yankees, which many people felt, up until this point at least, was the greatest team ever to play in Major League Baseball. This team was dominant, Hall of Famers everywhere, legendary players everywhere, anchored in the middle by 3-4 hitters by the name of Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. Now, again, same thing. You guys probably don't get this reference. That's okay. You can go ahead and check it out as I share the show around on Facebook. But yeah, man, just a potent lineup. You look at the big bat at the cleanup position. You take a look at Matt Olson, a guy that basically is a hometown guy. A lot of people don't know he hailed from right up the road in Norcross, Georgia. So how cool is it for him to come back home and to be able to, light it up here for the Braves? Set the all-time Brave records for home runs this year, 54 dingers for Mr. Matt Olson. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at some of these players' stats so you guys can get an idea of what the major leagues has been looking at all this year. Let's just take a look here. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to Major League Baseball to get the stats so you guys can know just how potent this Braves team is, because these guys are must-see TV. Like I said, again, they put together one of the greatest offensive runs for any team in Major League Baseball history. All across the top of the offensive leaderboard, you see a lot of guys, and when it says team, what you will see is Atlanta Braves. So again, why would anybody be nervous of any team that the Braves have to play right now? I don't care who it is. Now, the only thing that the Braves might have a little problem with right now is that they are a little suspect on the pitching. But again, let's go here and look at the tape. Tell the tape. That's how they do it with fighters. Let's go to home runs. Let's take a look at the leaders in Major League Baseball for home runs. Click. We click it on Major League Baseball. We go to the home run category, and voila, what does it pull up? Number one in the major leagues, Mr. Matt Olson. We just told you about him, the first base for the Bravos. He played in all 162 games. This guy had 172 hits, but more importantly, 54 homers, led the major leagues, 139 runs batted in, led the major leagues, also scored 127 runs. But wait, there's more. At the number 6 spot, excuse me, at the number 5 spot, another guy who plays for the Atlanta Braves, and this guy is the de facto MVP of the league. Let's take a look at these stats here. Mr. Ronald Acuna leads the major league in hits, 217, leads the major league in steals, 73, has 41 homers, and oh, by the way, is in the top 5 in the league in batting 337. Those stats are epic. Unprecedented for any player in Major League Baseball to bat over 300, hit over 40 home runs, steal over 70 bases, and score over 100 runs. That all belongs to Mr. Ronald Acuna. The guy was 1 run away from scoring 150 runs in this season. But there's more. Marcell Ozuna in the number 6 spot. This is in Major Leagues. Home runs. Marcell Ozuna. Let's take a look at his stats here as we read across. He has hit this year 40 homers, and he has knocked in 100 runs batted in as well, the DH spot. I'm just saying. And oh, by the way, before we leave, at the number 10 spot, Austin Riley, 37 homers, 97 runs batted in, and a nifty 281 batting average, and pretty darn good at the third base spot. But here's the guy that's the unsung hero, I believe, for the Atlanta Braves. The guy that is kind of like the glue. The guy that nobody talks about because the guys I just mentioned, all those guys, big boppers, all those guys in the hunt for MVP, either in this season or seasons before. I'm talking about the little second baseman, guy by the name of Ozzie Albies. Nobody talks about him, but I'm going to read you Ozzie Albies stats to let you know why, if you're a Braves fan, you shouldn't be worried about anybody. Ozzie Albies at the second base spot. Guy's playing second base. 33 home runs, 109 runs batted in, 94 runs scored. And oh, by the way, batted 280. So if you look at this Braves team, you look at those five guys I mentioned, talk about Murderers Row. This is Murderers Row 2.0 or 3.0, however you want to call it. The Braves are loaded 1 through 9. Tough fight. I didn't even talk about Murphy, their catcher, who he's hit over 25 home runs. I didn't talk about Rosario. He's around 25 home runs. The Braves have 8 guys that hit 20 homers or better. So I'm thinking to myself, why are you afraid of anybody? I'm saying, baby, put them shades on and just say, we bring on all comers. All right, speaking of all comers, let's go to social media real quick here as we take a look at Sully. Sully says, yeah, baby. He said, yeah, same record as in 1999. And so, very important, 1999, they did not win the World Series. So it is important that they take care of their business this year. So he also says, my robe says, oh, shucky ducky, baby. There you go. And he says, hey, man, make him feel old. Listen, we're all old, brother. I mean, if you're a baby boomer, you got some age on you. All right, let's go out of town now to a Washington Nationals fan. Donna Jones says, and the Phillies are hungry. Bryce Harper wants his first World Series ring. Trey Turner, formerly of the Washington Nationals and the Dodgers, wants his second ring. Kyle Schwarber is a batting beast, a former Chicago Cub. He's won a World Series before. So good luck to the Braves. You all have top players too, and I know y'all are hungry as well. May the best team win. It's going to be a great series. That's right. If you are a baseball fan, this series is going to be must-see TV. Now, here's what's happening. Anytime you have these big matchups, always a little shade is thrown between the competitors. And I got to get my glasses on so they're not crooked. There we go. Not too bad. So there's this whole thing going back and forth between Philly fans and Braves fans. People are saying, oh man, it's much more difficult to play in Philadelphia. Their fans are crazy and the vet rocks, when things are happening down there in Philadelphia. But look, man, here's what I saw. When the Braves had their magical run to a World Series title back in 2021, I went out there to cover those games. I got that, I believe it was for either the clinching game or the game before the clinching game. Do you know that first of all, when you talk about the Braves, you have to understand that the Truist Park is more than just Truist Park. It's really, you're talking the Battery. And you're saying, well, dude, what are you talking about? What I mean by the Battery is this enclave that circles the stadium. And literally, it's a town, a little mini city within a mini city, where the Braves were smart enough and shrewd enough to build this complex of work, play, apartments, and condos, and then all types of stores, eateries. They have a theater called the Roxy Theater. So that basically it's more than just a ballpark. And oh, by the way, they have a situation where outside the ballpark, leading into one of the main entrances by the Chop House, there's like a grassy knoll, so to speak, with a 40-foot jumbotron. So even if you don't have tickets to the game, you can watch the game, and you're so close you can hear the action from the game. Crowd surge, home runs, fireworks, of course, every time a home run is hit in Truist Park. So all that stuff can be seen even if you can't get into the game. So literally, you're talking about 45,000 people in the stands. But what the Braves did is they worked with the city of Atlanta and Cobb County Police, and they basically blocked off several of the streets in the Battery surrounding Truist Park. You know what they did? They put up jumbotron screens like every other block. So people literally were sitting and, of course, later dancing in the streets, maybe to celebrate the Braves' victory. They had over 100,000 people in that enclave called the Battery. So this idea that Atlanta fans are, they're not going to really do much and blase, look here, man, it's going to be on and popping here in the A. And, of course, the other thing, too, about Atlanta is the, I guess, for lack of a better term, secondary entertainment capital of the U.S. I mean, you call it L.A. Hollywood South, whatever you want to call it. I know people in NYC say, hold up. But the bottom line is, man, people here in Atlanta are all about coming in, man, and, being entertained. And the one thing the Braves have been this year is they have been certainly an entertaining baseball team to watch. Hey, before we go to a break, I want to give a big shout out to those of you who are maybe just tuning in on the legendary WIGO Pace at 1570, located right down the road here in Clayton County. Appreciate our new owner, Miss Sheila Brown. By the way, Sheila Brown, happy birthday to you, to the owner of our station. Appreciate you so much. And again, also remember, that you can listen to WIGO 1570 online at WIGO1570.com. You also can take us anywhere in the world on your app. There's an app called TuneIn. It's a free app. Download it. Put in WIGO in the search engine, and voila. You'll find us broadcasting to you right here, right now. All right, guys, again, from the offices of Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln, our title sponsor for high school football, we're bringing you the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be back in just a moment. As a matter of fact, let's take a listen and peek to what we got cooking at Allen Vigil Ford. Well, we'll do that a little later. We'll go to commercial. We'll be back.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
All right. For those of you who don't know, we cover high school football Friday Night Lights. Again, as I mentioned to you, our title sponsor is Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln, and they're located right here in Morrow, Georgia. That's where I am right now, 6790 Mount Zion Boulevard in the beautiful city of Morrow, Georgia, right in the heart of Clayton County. Yeah, so we go out and we broadcast the games live on our website. You can see it there. You can also go to our YouTube page and check us out. And last night was a game that was, I don't say a shock. It was kind of a shocker to me. A 2-4 Carver Atlanta team rolled in to face the best team right now in Clayton County, the undefeated 6-0 Mondays Mills Tiger, who are taking on all comers. They've knocked off the, I guess, a little camera freeze here. Well, anyway, hopefully you guys can see me.
Froze up. So we're going to take a little, when you go live, we have a little technical difficulty. So we're going to take a quick little break. And we'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment. Don't go nowhere, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, sports fans, tune in for live high school football Fridays, 7:30 p.m. on RealTalkSports.net. Check out your favorite Metro Atlanta teams as they do battle on the gridiron. It's your high school game of the week, live streaming free Friday nights on RealTalkSports.net. For more sports coverage and great sports talk, catch the Real Talk Sports Show Tuesdays, 8 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch. Brought to you by Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, a business giving back to their community. Give them a call at 678-364-3979 or check them out online at allenvigilford.net.
Yes, indeed. We're back here. We had a little camera freeze up. And then when you go live, the bugs get in the machine and bam, we had a little freeze up. But anyway, like I said, high school football is our thing. And our title sponsor is my employer, Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln. And like I said, again, we do a high school football game of the week each and every week. And last night, big game was held. It was Mondays Mill 6-0 versus Carver Atlanta, who came in 2-4. But, and this is the thing that kind of slipped by me, they had one of the toughest schedules in high school football, playing at least three teams, at least two teams that had won multiple state titles over the years, and a third team that was always in the hunt for that title. So I was a little mistaken about the quality of the game that I was going to see last night. And to the credit of the happy folks now at Carver Atlanta, they came in and were men on a mission, and they obliterated the previously undefeated Mondays Mill Tigers 28-0. That's why I didn't start it. 28-0 as the Panthers of Carver Atlanta, which is not too far out. It's right on the outskirts of downtown Atlanta, maybe about 5 minutes from downtown Atlanta. They came in, like I said, and just totally destroyed the previously undefeated Mondays Mill Tigers. And really what they did is they basically came in and they were on the attack mode. I mean, they decided that they were going to go after Mondays Mill. They would not be satisfied with a with just coming in here and playing well or being competitive. And like I said, they just handle them. They totally shut them down. Money Smell is a great quarterback, a young man by the name of Donovan Morton. We've seen him on our previous broadcast. Primetime prospect, about 6'2", big arm, can sling it, can put the ball in the tight windows. But last night, the tight windows were closed. He threw not one, not two, but 3 interceptions, including a pick six, which sealed the victory in the fourth quarter for the Panthers of Carver, Atlanta. Yeah, just unbelievable game last night. Like I said, totally shocked. And don't get me wrong, Money's Mill moved the ball, and several times they had the ball in the red zone of Carver, but mistakes, turnovers, penalties, they couldn't put a point on the board. And that's shocking because this was a team that, I watched them. This has been the third time. They were tough, and they beat the other top 2 contenders in Clayton County. They had knocked off their arch rival Lovejoy to open up the season. They rolled in on the road, which is right here at Tara Stadium, on a neutral field, knocked off Jonesboro High School. And they were the ones that were the defensive stalwart. They intercepted Jonesboro last week 4 times, had 2 pick sixes. It's dominant here in Clayton County. But Carver Atlanta said, we from the A. We know nothing about that. And like I say again, they had played tough opponents like the legendary Buford High School here in Georgia, Colquitt County, a team I watched 6 or 7 years ago win a state title here. And they just, in those games, although they were beaten, it took into the second half before these teams did it. And the coach of Carver had men on a mission. As a matter of fact, let's listen to him and a couple of his players after the win last night.
All right, guys, I was calling his name out pretty much the whole night. The trigger man behind this offense that ran up a 28-0 victory. Introduce yourself to everybody, please.
I'm Octavius Banks. I'm class 2025. I play quarterback for Carver, Atlanta.
What was the key for you tonight? Because it seemed like you always made the right read at the right time. What was the key?
Patience. Just patience all around. Trusting my O-line, trusting my receivers to be in the right place. Just patience.
All right, how can people follow you on social media?
On Instagram, One Little Banks. I don't got no Twitter.
One Little Banks. Listen, Instagram is all you need. Listen, man, thanks for joining you and congratulations on the victory.
Thank you.
All right, who else we got here? Number 8, did we get you? Come on. There we go, number 6. Come on, real quick.
I'm Jamonte Hines.
All right.
Defense end. Senior.
What was the key for you guys, man? Because you were dominant. A shutout.
Hey, man, we owe it to ourselves, man. Hey, I really don't know too much. Hey, we all just play. This a family. We're a family. We protect each other.
How can people find more about you on social media?
I got Twitter, Tez Hines 44. I'm the 44 man.
There he is. Thank you, sir.
Those young men were very fired up after their victory on the road against a very tough Money's Mill team who previously came in undefeated and really were the kings of Clayton County. So you just never know, man. It's what did Herm Edwards used to have that mean for a while? You've got to play the game. Yeah, you got to play it. Records on the field don't matter. It doesn't matter, who you are, who you got. Yeah, just a great game last night. And Money's Mill now will have to regroup and get reset. But the good news is they're 6-1. They still are on the top of the heap right now here in Clayton County. But now here's where things shift. In Georgia, a lot of state playoffs are based on your region. So now most of the teams, after playing their rivalry games and some, cross-sectional games, now they get down to the nitty-gritty of playing teams that are in their region. And the regional standings is how the state playoffs here are set up in Georgia. So it's almost kind of like the playoffs. It's kind of like a reboot and reshuffle. So now Carver Atlanta 3-4 finds themselves in a good momentum position heading into their regional games. And also, like I said, again, even though they lost last night, 6-1, the Money's Mill Tigers will look to make some noise as well. Also, in Clayton County, just give you an update, our buddies over at Jonesboro went on the road and knocked off a tough Morrow Mustangs team last night to get the victory. So, again, your top teams in Clayton County continue to make some noise, and I think you're going to see some noise being made here on the south side. We want to give a shout out to some other teams. I don't have all the scores in front of me here. We want to give a big shout out to defending champion Langston Hughes, way down in South Fulton County. Don't have the kind of stellar record they had last year when they went 14-0, but they have a much tougher schedule, playing some of the top teams from around the country, Look for them to have a say in the state playoffs before this is all over. Also, Cedar Grove, winner of 2 of the last 3 state championships in their class, which I believe is Class 3A. Also a team like Carver, mediocre record, but again, it's because they're playing top quality teams, not just from around the state, but from around the country. Bringing in teams from Florida. Sometimes you got to travel on the road to Tennessee, playing teams that are ranked in the top 50 in the nation. And so oftentimes that happens, you lose, but it is going to hone them to a sharpness as they get ready also now to move into the regional games and into, the hunt for postseason play. I got to tell you this. I know you guys watch me from all over Atlanta. Like I said, my buddy Sully is up and coming. We got people from Atlanta that watch us. We also got folks down in Henry County and Stockbridge. A lot of our listeners and watchers are from there. We thank you so much. But I want to tell you guys something. Please, if you're on the south side, you're south of I-20, come on and support your team. I mean, come on out, your parents, aunties, uncles, grandmamas, and thems. Come on out and support these kids. I know the weather's getting a little chilly now. It was chilly last night, I will admit. I came out there with no jacket, no clothes. Whoa! But the kids really appreciate you being there. Okay, the other thing too is, I'll be very candid, I need y'all for some crowd control. Normally we broadcast our games at Terra Stadium and we are underneath the press box, which means we are right down in the public landing area, right in front of the concession stands, which, like when you go to Falcons games or other stadiums that have these open landings, people hang out. Now, hats off to Clayton County Police. They're doing the best they can to keep your kids under control. But I need some of y'all to come out there because every now and then the children become a little bit unruly. And it's hard to do a live broadcast when you got, a little action, if you know what I mean, going on behind you. So I ask you, please come out, support your kids, watch your kids, and give them some good home training. That's something too. Tell these kids they can't be out here getting in the scuffles. I know when we're young, these things happen. Matter of fact, we watch adult fans. I can't tell you how many clips I've seen on social media where adults fighting and brawling in the stands. But anyway, come on out and support the kids. They need it. Also, if you're a local business, these kids, these athletic programs, you see like the teachers, they always need more money. It is an amazing amount of money that's spent to be able to put food and drink in the mouths of as many as 60 hungry, young teenage boys and young adults. Some of y'all have some at the house. They go through your refrigerator like, they're going on a trip. So imagine what it is for you guys to feed all these athletes. These guys are all big guys, most of them. And even if they're not big guys, they got voracious appetites. So please either donate directly or, good news, if you in fact take any type of sponsorship with our program, we actually give a portion of the proceeds back to the schools. As a matter of fact, before we go to a break, let's take a listen here as I think we have a presentation to one of our coaches right now.
All right, Coach, we do it win or lose. We'd like to make a presentation to our high school team. So we thank you again for your performance on the field. And on behalf of our sponsors, including our title sponsor, Allen Vigil Ford, we just say congratulations and see you next week.
We'd like to thank you and Allen Vigil Ford for this donation. And we just always like to say, go blue, go orange, go Tigers.
Here we go. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
That's what we do. We always give a portion of whatever sponsorship dollars that we get back to the school in some way, shape, or form. We're also going to be partnering, and we also ask you, if you say, well, I really can't give you any money, no problem. You might be a clothing store like K&G or D&K, who we hope to be joining us in the second half of the season. Or you might be a restaurant. We will take in-kind sponsorship. We can give something in back to the school. We're looking to have players of the month, coaches of the month. Now, how cool would it be if we were able to present the coach of the month and his lovely wife a dinner at your restaurant? Well, hit me up, Jay Simmons at realtalksports.net, or simply call or text me 678-410-9833. Here it is up on the screen for those of you who are watching. There it is right there, Jay Simmons at realtalksports.net, or call me or text me 678-410-9833. And again, for those of you listening on the legendary WIGO Pacer, the 1570, call me 678-410-9833, or you can call the station 404-361-1570. Say, we want to be a partner with the minister on the Real Talk Sports Show. All right, guys, keep it locked right here. We're going to bring you more sports talk. We'll talk a little college football, still basking in the Deion effect, but big stuff going on in the SEC, big games today, and big games all around the country that will impact the college football landscape and the playoffs. So keep it locked right here for more sports talk. We'll be back in just a moment with more of the Real Talk Sports Saturday update in just a moment. Don't go anywhere, please, and thank you. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. We'll be back as soon as I get the commercial spooled up. We'll be back. Thank you so much. Take care, and we'll be right back.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
And JB Smooth, appreciate him. Those were all clips from our time of covering the first time that Atlanta hosted the college football championship right here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. ESPN said they had an event called Meet the Celebs and Stars on the Blue Carpet. So we were down there at the Georgia Railway location right by the Underground. For those of you who are in Atlanta, know that situation. We got a chance to meet and see all those happy folks, and we're so happy they gave us what we call in the business some drops so we can use them here on our broadcast. And I thank God for letting me be able to do this, because it's kind of cool that me as an OG, a guy that is a baby boomer in age, to be able to kind of start this whole sports thing really late in life. I mean, I started this at age 49. And not normally trying to be trying to start to be no sports broadcaster. I'm just saying, no experience in that, no Connecticut School of Broadcasting, none of that. Just something out of a TV movie, called into the station I'm on now, WIGO 1570. Found the sports show on a gospel station, who knew? And then found out that the station allowed you to actually have your own show without you having to pay $1 million. And hence was a few months later the start of the Real Talk Sports Show back, I think it was fall of 2007. And my dear departed mother at that time encouraged me, said, "Dear, stay with it. You don't know what the Lord is going to do with this." And it certainly has been an adventure as I've been able to cover all types of things: high school football, college football, pro basketball, even got a chance to cover a Super Bowl here in Atlanta. Didn't get to the game, but they actually had us in the special room. We got chance to come out and do the postseason and postseason, the post game interviews and all that kind of cool stuff. So yeah, man, it's been a wonderful journey, and we thank really all those of you who over the years who partnered with us, sponsored with us, followed us on YouTube, Facebook, encouraged me. We appreciate you for all of that, because that kind of keeps me in the middle of it. Speaking of the middle of it, we hope at some point in time to get you guys to a live shot of what's going on here at Allen Vigil Ford, because on Saturdays, the dealerships do it. We have a lot going on. And the other thing is, good news, special financing, low APR are back. Rebates are back. That's right. Some of your favorite vehicles, the Edge, Escape, Lincolns, all types of vehicles. Some of them now have rebates, and some of them have rebates, believe it or not, that exceed $5,000. That's right. We have electric vehicles that the rebates are like something crazy. I think it's like $7,000. Plus, you get a huge tax incentive from the government. So yeah, man, we're going to look to our sales managers. Hopefully, they're watching and listening to this now, that they would kind of jump in on the broadcast and tell us all the great stuff that we have going on here at the dealership here at Allen Vigil Ford. Again, we're located at 6790 Mount Zion Boulevard in the city of Myrtle, Georgia. So come on down and check us out. All right, while you guys are doing that, again, we appreciate all those of you who have jumped in here. We appreciate those of you watching on the replay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember, you can follow us anywhere on social media at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. And that's anywhere and everywhere. You can check us out there. And we appreciate those of you who have done so. Appreciate those of you who leave the comments. Like I said, we appreciate all that stuff, man. I mean, it's just... yeah, it's just cool stuff that you guys take time out to do that with us and for us. All right, we're gonna shift over here to some college football. Let's look at the top 25, and then let's talk a little bit about what we got cooking here today, because we got some big games in the SEC and other places around the country that are going to impact, our run now for the college football players. Now, I know we're still a little early. We got a lot of season left to play, but that's okay. Let's go over the top 25 here in college football. Numero uno. 5-0 so far this season. The not one but two-time defending national college football champions, the Bulldogs, up in Athens, Georgia, an hour from here. They're ranked number 1 in the country. Number 2, right behind them, the Michigan Wolverines. They too have appeared in the college football playoffs 2 of the last 3 years. Behind them, the upstart, bringing it back to the future, a team that had been legendary when I was a kid back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Guys like Earl Campbell played on their team. Now the Longhorns of Texas are back in action after knocking off the Alabama Crimson Tide a couple of weeks ago. They stand at 5-0, number 3 behind Michigan and Georgia. Number 4, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Remember, they narrowly lost to the Bulldogs here in Atlanta in the college semifinal, missing a field goal at the end of the game that cost them the chance to play for the title. 4-0 this year. They are at number 4. Number 5, another team bringing it back to the future, the Seminoles of Florida State. Remember, with the late, great Bobby Bowden, they were always a tough out. That is the school that produced Prime Time, Deion Sanders, and many other great guys from that program. They're back at number 5. Penn State, number 6, always in the mix. The Washington Huskies, last remnant of the Pac-12, which will be disbanded after this year, they're at number 7, another Pac-12 team. And this is a team that I think is probably the most underrated teams in the country, and you got to keep your eye on them. The Ducks from Oregon, also 5-0 at number 8. Another Pac-12 team, USC. We saw them last week. Speaking of prime time, they rolled into Colorado Buffaloes, up 34-7 at the half, and had to hang on for dear life against Deion and his crew at number 9. And the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, after losing a tough battle, 17-14 at home to Ohio State, but they still maintain their role in the top 10 at 5-1 overall. And guess who's behind them for the first time in a long time, not even in the top 10? The Crimson Tide of Alabama, after losing to Texas, found themselves tumbling out of the top 10 completely. They had fallen as low as number 13. They now are back up to number 11 overall at 4-1. And behind them, the Oklahoma Sooners, who have a big challenge today as they roll into a neutral site in Dallas for the Red River Shootout, where they'll take on their old foe, the Texas Longhorns. So those are your top 12 teams in the NCAA today. Georgia will have their work cut out for them. Now, another team that's vastly underrated. At number 20, Kentucky. They will be coming up to Athens to play Georgia. I'm going to tell you guys, don't sleep on the Kentucky Wildcats. This is a really good team. Matter of fact, they're way better than what I thought. They took on the Florida Gators and absolutely dismantled the Gators, especially on the ground. Keep in mind, Florida had one of the top 5 defenses in all of college football, and Kentucky said, good news, we don't care. And the Wildcats ran all over Florida and dismissed them in a, to me, shocking win over the Gators of Florida. So my thing is this. I know the Gators aren't the Bulldogs, but Kentucky has always been a tough out. Always. They always, give you what you got and then some. And Kirby Smart talked about the fact that he has a great admiration for the team, which is coached by Coach Stoops. He said what they do is they play a brand of football really similar to what Georgia wants to play. They play hard-nosed, tough, in-your-face defense, and then try to run the ball down your throat. And that's exactly what Kentucky did last week against Florida. Quarterback Devin Leary really didn't do too much. 9 of 20, 69 yards, 1 touchdown. But the grown man, Reman Davis, so it's probably Remon Davis, 26 carries for 280 yards and 3 touchdowns against one of the top 5 defenses in the country. Davis was unstoppable. In that first quarter, a 9-yard run for a touchdown, a 75-yard run for a touchdown. In the second quarter, another 2-yard run for a touchdown. Yeah, I mean, just like I said, man, these guys were just unstoppable. I mean, just, you look at what Kentucky did, and you look at a Georgia team that really is not quite the same team they were in the last 2 years, especially defensively. So I think the Georgia is going to have to strap them up today if they have any shot. I don't say any shot. If they really want to be able to knock off the Wildcats of Kentucky. So that's going to be a great game. Texas and Oklahoma, even though Texas should win this game, I think, relatively easily, that's going to be a big game as well. So, like I said, man, a lot of stuff going on. Oh, the Ohio State Buckeyes hosting a sneaky good Maryland Terrapin team that I think only has 1 or 2 losses for today. Back to the SEC, LSU, who we thought was going to be a contender for the college football playoffs, they've tumbled all the way down to 23 after a couple of losses there. They take on number 21 Missouri. Missouri hosting them at home. Let's look around the scoreboard here and see what other big games we have. Notre Dame hosting number 25 Louisville hosting number 10 Notre Dame. So those are some of your big games here for today in college football. So y'all know how you'll do it. It's going to be lockdown city. Everybody's going to be sitting at the house watching college football or going to your local sports bar. Remember, as they say in the commercial, please drink responsibly. I don't know what that means. It means, hey, just don't go liquored up. If you do, don't drive nowhere. And then don't do something you shouldn't be doing that your mama told you not to do. I'm just saying. Yeah, so big games all around here in college football. But in our backyard, the big game is going to be Georgia against Kentucky. That will definitely decide, I believe, the SEC East and who's going to go on to, contend for the SEC championship. And normally the guy that wins the SEC championship is guaranteed a spot in the college football playoffs. It also will see if Georgia can continue to extend their winning streak across 2 years. I think they're at it will be win number 21 straight or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Please don't get mad at me if I made a mistake there on that. So, yeah, man, good stuff going on in the world of college football as well. Now, I didn't mention Georgia Tech, even though you guys know I'm a big Georgia Tech guy. Georgia Tech were the first major entity to give us credentials to cover sports. I don't know what's up with Georgia Tech. I thought that they would have a pretty good team this year. I think what really hurt them is the fact that they lost the opening game to Louisville right down the road here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, a game that they were up, I think, 28-14. And I'm losing that game. And that was, to me, I know one game should make a difference, but that was really critical on a lot of fronts. Number one, it would have given them tremendous momentum because, as we can see, Louisville's a darn good team. Number two, it would have given them some additional energy for recruiting because it was on a national stage. It was an ESPN, I believe, televised game. You're in one of the most beautiful stadiums in the world, in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, packed house. It was rocking. If they had won that game, it would have set them up, I believe, to do some additional high-level recruiting going forward. Losing that game, kind of now you come out of the box, game you should have won, you lose it. They kind of been putting around at about a 500 level. So now they're going to Miami, ranked number 17. If they can at least, I don't want to say keep the game close, that's kind of dumb. If they could upset Miami, it really would go a long way to getting Georgia Tech back to being on the road to being a team of relevance in college football. So I'm just saying. So anyway, guys, like I said, we got a full day today. Oh, one last thing. Basketball is coming back to start. Did you know that the Hawks, well, first of all, the NBA has already had their media days and teams are out now practicing, and the Hawks actually will have an open practice here in Atlanta on Monday night at State Farm Arena. So if you guys are around, it's a $5 ticket. The money goes to charity. You can come on down to State Farm and actually see how the Hawks practice for real. You can get a glimpse of some of the new players that they have brought on board. So if you're in the Atlanta area and you're a fan, $5. Monday night, 7:30 at State Farm Arena. There's other thing too. Great. These are the kind of times, if you ever want to bring your kids out to go watch something, this is the stuff because they get close up. The players hang around, sign some autographs. So check them out. They'll be at State Farm Arena on Monday night. Well, we're going to continue to broadcast to you right here from Allen Vigil Ford in Lincoln in the heart of Clayton County. But we got to take a break. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment. Please don't go anywhere at all. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you.
The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice.
I gotta put my shades back on, man. I'm just feeling the groove of that music. I'm feeling the beat from the music. Amen. And thank you for those of you who put together all of those wonderful, available to small guys like me, what we call non-copyrighted music. Because for those of you who do this stuff, even like you kind of dabble around with it, as you may or may not know, if you put like too long of a clip, and sometimes even a small clip of copyrighted music, like music that you normally listen to, whether it be whatever, Beyonce, whatever, anything that is like copyrighted music, like you can't do it. It's a no-no. So at the end of the day, if you do that, you're cooked. So I thank God that they now have a bunch of areas, YouTube studios, Pixabay, that you can download music, even Canva. We can download music that is not copyrighted, that has a nice little, beat to it, and you can put that on your broadcast. So we're thankful for whoever came up with that. Praise the Lord. Amen. I'm just saying, I'm thankful for you, yo. I mean, appreciate you. Because I said, without that, I wouldn't be able to do it. I'm just keeping it real as I can. I mean, it would be virtually impossible for me to be able to, have music, have these different things without that as well. Well, we always wrap up our broadcast with the NFL because y'all like to talk football. And of course, since I'm here in Atlanta, of course, all the rumbling has been about the Atlanta Falcons. First of all, the season started off with such great promise. As the Falcons won their first two games, everybody's excited. They're like, man, this is a team that look like can do something. Bijan Robinson, their number 8 draft pick, one of the games he rushed for 129 yards. In the first game, I believe it was, our star rookie from last year, running back, Tyler Algiers, he rushed for 75 yards and just 15 carries. And you're thinking, man, this ground machine is going to be unstoppable. They're 2-0. Everything says, hey, teams that start off the season 2-0, they have like a 70% chance to reach postseason play. So Falcons fans feeling some kind of way, but the weakness, the weak link was hovering in the background, and the weak link was the Falcons couldn't pass the ball to save their life. I shouldn't say that. They had a mediocre passing, and it just seemed like for whatever reason, our good buddy, a guy who I told many people, I said, hey, he's the real deal, Desmond Ridder, was playing at best what we would call average football at the quarterback position. So Falcons fans were concerned, but not worried. Well, that all went away, boys, in game 3 and 4. The wheels came off the wagon, and Desmond Ridder has looked terrible at the quarterback position. My people have hit me up saying, dude, the guy don't even look like an NFL quarterback. Now, Desmond Ridder has not played well, but I got to tell you something. A lot of that is because of what, and again, I don't get a chance to cover anymore because at least like I used to with media credentials, I'm not sure why the Falcons ain't showing me any love, and that might change. But at the end of the day, a lot of Ridder's problem is because, to me, what appears to be inept play calling by a guy who's supposed to be, Mr. Brilliant, a guy who's supposed to be this cutting edge offensive guru, and Arthur Smith. Play calling terrible. And you're saying, brother, what do you mean? Okay, think about this. You have a situation where I just mentioned to you how dominant that the Falcons' run game has been over these last year and a half. I mean, they've just been virtually unstoppable. Okay, so now here's my question. Knowing that, why on earth would you start games off passing the ball? Now, of course, people say, oh, well, man, it's a situation where you want to kind of attack a team's weakness. Like everybody talked about Detroit didn't have a good pass defense. Look, man, this is how this works. This is not brain surgery. Any era of football, any era of sports for that matter, a team that is well coached knows this. If I got something working, I'm going to continue to let you see it, let it beat the brakes off you until you can stop it. I mean, what's the old proverb? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if you can run the ball with the way the Falcons are running, averaging over 150 yards per game, which put them in the top 5 in the NFL, an offensive line that everybody says, including the line themselves, they are a better run blocking team than pass blocking team. You drafted in the first round a running back who many people say is a generational talent. With all that being said, and oh, by the way, you have a guy who's like a Swiss Army knife, like our own Deebo Samuels and Cordarrelle Patterson, that is kind of just lurking in the shadows waiting to come back on. You have all these talents, all of this, and yet you decide, oh, we're going to try to pass the ball. We're going to try to trick teams. Arthur Smith, shame on you. Arthur Smith, you are a guy that did something I had not seen in years. Last year, I was at a game where the Falcons ran the ball on a touchdown drive 12 or 13 times in a row. They did not pass the ball one time. And in the phraseology of the late, great Hank Stram, they matriculated the ball down the field for a touchdown. Didn't throw one pass. I think they went 10 or 11, I think it was 10, maybe 12 rushing attempts for 70-plus yards and a touchdown. Now, am I saying, hey, you're going to run the ball like that all the time? No, but I'm saying at the end of the day, Falcons are a team that can run the ball on first and even second down because of their ability to pick up yardage. You say you want to kind of play ahead of the chain, so they say. You want to have third down less than 5 yards. That's what any NFL teams, the operative goal is actually really to have third down and 4 yards or less. That's really kind of your game plan, to try to keep moving the ball down the field and be successful offensively. Arthur Smith made the statement when someone was talking about the running game. He said, well, you don't want to be like three yards in a cloud of dust. Why not? Because guess what? If you ran the ball and got 3 yards on first down and you got 3 yards on second down, that would leave you with third down and that magical number 4. You also go for first down. I'll take that all day. Because guess what? Most teams are able to convert at a pretty high level if you have 4 yards or less to go for first down on third down. I'm just saying. All right, let's go to social media. Our man, H.C. Hardy, let's see what he has to say. He says, the former Bears GM, now director of personnel, also the assistant GM for the Falcons, came from Chicago as well. There's no excuse that the Falcons can't work a deal with Chicago for Justin Fields. All right, look, don't get me wrong. I like Justin Fields, and if y'all remember, I felt they should have drafted him instead of Kyle Pitts. Now, I'm going to put a little caveat on this. See, one thing that you're not going to see in Atlanta is anybody that is even somewhat controversial. And Justin Fields, phenomenal player. I think in the right system, this guy could be one of the great NFL quarterbacks. The problem is he got energy like almost kind of like a linebacker or wide receiver. Like, he's not really a corporate kind of guy. If you remember, one of the reasons why I ended up leaving the University of Georgia, because a lot of people don't realize that, he actually was the heir apparent at the University of Georgia before they put in Jake Fromm, and to their credit, won a national title. He was caught on camera, right or wrong, or talking about the Georgia quarterback was playing, and said, I'm playing better than this guy. I don't know why they don't play me. We see here in Chicago, whereas things have gone to the left, he's been very vocal about the problem being to some degree outside of him. And we watched even his body language when he was at Georgia, and we've seen it here in Chicago, where he's a guy that's going, he's going to tell you the truth, good, bad, or indifferent. You can get by with that when you're a linebacker. You can get by with that even with your wide receiver. When you're the kind of face of the team, you have to kind of have that corporate kind of look to yourself. Right or wrong, I'm not trying to say this is right. I'm just saying that's kind of the way it is. So you have to kind of be able to be, as the captain of the ship, you have to be kind of unrattled and unplussed, so to speak. And I think that what Atlanta was afraid of is that they bring him in, while keep in mind, he would have came in when they still had Matt Ryan, that if we saw Matt Ryan play the way Matt would do from time to time, Matt couldn't move around too much. That wasn't his thing. Matt didn't have the huge arm, a decent arm. He didn't have the big arm like Justin Fields can throw the ball, I think, like 70 yards in the air, no problem. As soon as the Falcons offense would have bogged down, everybody been screaming for Justin Fields, and who knows, he might have created a problem in the locker room with him not playing. So that's why the Falcons didn't draft him. I have no problem with that. So I'm just saying. All right, let's go back to social media again. H.C. Hardy, he's saying all the receivers are 6 feet tall, and somehow we can't get them the ball. Amazing. That's Devin Hall. Devin, look, it's like this. Again, I go back to the same thing. It's play calling. It's play calling. To me, you run the ball at will, and when you do that, what you force is you force more one-on-one coverage. You force more, or you shouldn't say force, you run more plays as out plays where you have one-on-ones where you can put the ball up and let a guy like a Matt Collins, let a guy like a Kyle Pitts, let a guy like, why am I drawing a blank here? Number 5, his partner, be able, Drake London, to make these plays. But if you're throwing balls in these tight windows and you trying to throw these slant plays over the middle, and you got this crowd of 2 or 3 defensive players from the other team, Desmond Ridder, that's not his thing. You're looking for trouble. Not just Desmond Ridder, but any average quarterback where accuracy is not their thing, when they're not like at the Drew Brees level or something like that. You don't want to put the hands in the ball into the hands of these guys to force them to throw the ball in the tight windows. I'm just saying. All right, guys, well, as we get ready to pack things up here, we have to go. Well, not we have to go. We want to go to the studios of WIGO 1570. We're going to go to our producer, the lady behind the scenes. Lady E is in the building. We're going to pop in here and let her go. And while we're doing that, guys, as I told you, I'm at work. I got to take a break because they're asking me a question. So just Lady E, take it away.
Hi, Jonathan. Great to see you. Listen, I'm going to be quick because I need to get ready for the next show. But anyway, first things first, we need to congratulate Miss Sheila L. Brown of Vision Multimedia. She will be getting an award today called the Radio National Awards. So also our own Jeff Fox will be getting that same award today. So yeah. And he does the Music in the Box at 12 noon, Monday through Friday. So yeah, 2 great winners today. Also, we had a wonderful time on Thursday night with the fabulous Kevin Buchanan being the DJ, who, I mean, he dropped the box on us Thursday night. Oh my God. And Jonathan, you would be proud of Eli. He got on stage and started dancing his you know what off. Also, Jay Francis got up there and danced too. And you know I did my thing too. So all of us, Sheila, me, everybody at WIGO who was there got on stage and did our thing, as well as Kevin Buchanan. So you can catch him at Silk at Candler Road, or Silk at Candler. He is every Thursday at 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And the address is 2930 Amber Drive in Decatur, Georgia. All right. Also, I want to congratulate Atlanta's own Outkast for being the top rap group of all time, as well as having the top album of all time. 13-time platinum, Jonathan. Wow. That's amazing. So congratulations to them. I don't think anybody else is 13-time platinum. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But yeah, that's a great honor. And
No doubt.
Yeah. So again, tomorrow, 5 p.m., tune into my show, the history, the song, the artist. I'm doing a rerun, Jonathan, because I was busy this week. So if you missed it last week, I will be doing or featuring a gentleman on the Faith Evans story. His name is Kirk Burrows. He was with Puffy's record company, Bad Boy Records. He was an important manager who started the successful careers of Mary J. Blige, Faith Evans, and others. So be sure to tune in and hear his story tomorrow at 5 p.m. right here on the legendary WIGO
Legendary.
1570 Pace Setter.
Pace Setter in the building. Pace Setter is in the building. Yeah, and we got great stuff going on. Also, remember, it is a home game. The Falcons are back at home. They are back at home. So you guys, if you're around Atlanta, come and check them out. Well, I'm going to do this, guys. I'm going to give you a quick peek at some of the hot stuff we got going on here at Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln. I'll see if I can get that up here on our screen here so you guys can take a look at this car, which is something a lot of people don't think about. A lot of people, when they think about cars, they don't really think about this unless they're thinking about a Tesla. Well, I don't know, lady, if you knew that Ford has its own very own what we call a Tesla fighter in the Mustang Mach-E. You said, what? Mustang? Yes, that's right. The Ford iconic brand of the Mustang has an electric vehicle called the Mach-E. And I will tell you this. We've known that since the pandemic, there's been no rebates and everything has gone to the moon. But good news, this car you're about to see on the screen, it'll pop up here in just a second for those of you watching. Look at how sleek that looks. Those are Mustang Mach-E's. And do you know, right now, some of those vehicles have rebates as high as $7,200. And financing as low as 1.9% on short term. And if that's not enough, you can get as much as $7,500 back off your taxes from the U.S. government. So come on down to Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln. Check out the well, I shouldn't say new, but the fabulous Mustang Mach-E. All right, as we wrap it up here for you, we appreciate you for tuning in and watching us. And we also want to give a big shout out again to those of you who are listening to us on the legendary WIGO Pace Setter 1570 AM. Remember, you can find us not just on the dial, but we way ahead of the curve. You can find us online, WIGO1570.com. If that's not enough, we on the app. Download it on your phone. It's called TuneIn, free app. Put in WIGO in the search engine, and voila, you'll find us broadcasting with you right here and right now. Lady, I know you got lots of stuff going on back in the studio. Appreciate you for dropping in. Now, you're going to be able to check out your Falcons on Sunday?
Oh, I will be there live, Jonathan.
She's gonna
once
be in the building.
again, you know what? I need a win this weekend.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I mean, they're going to be facing a Texan team that everybody, when they looked at the schedule, thought, oh, it's a wrap. But C.J. Stroud, we saw him with the Ohio State Buckeyes almost take out the Bulldogs last year. He has picked up where he's left off. He is lighting up the NFL. He's thrown for over 300 yards in his last 2 games. And the Texans now are at 2-2, same records of the Falcons. And, the Falcons always have had trouble with quarterbacks that can move. So hopefully this new defense, which has been playing lights out. I mean, kudos to the Falcons. Top 10 defense. Jesse Bates. This guy keeps up. He could be Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
He's been a beast.
I love him.
Absolute beast. So, they're going to have their work cut out for him. But again, it's Ritter's time to prove the naysayers wrong. So you have to make it do what it do. All right, we ain't gonna do this. We're gonna let Lady E go because, like I said, guys, she got to get back to run things going on at the studio. Remember, the minister always implores you and asks you, as we do each and every broadcast, if you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, please, ma'am, please, sir, get to know him absolutely today. Why? Nobody loves you like the Lord Jesus. He came here and died for you, but he rose from the dead. And if you repent of your sins and believe of that, 2 great things happen. Number 1, you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number 2, you become an adopted child of God with all the rights therein. That means, that's right, you, just like me and I and all the other people who believe, can now go to God like a heavenly parent, ask him for anything you need or desire, and according to his will, he'll give it to you. Because he's not going to give you anything bad. And when you leave this place, you go to the most spectacular, beautiful, happy place ever. Imagine, actually, it's beyond imagination, called heaven. with none of the following: no pain, no pandemic, no bad people anywhere. It's beautiful. You get a chance now to talk to God face to face. Place is so beautiful. The streets are paved with a gold that's so pure, it's translucent. And you avoid those nasty places called hell where you got all the things that are not in heaven going to be in hell. Bad people everywhere. It stink. It's dark. It's dreary. Painful. Most of all, you're cut off from God and from all the people of love forever and a day. I don't know about you, but I like option number one instead of option number two. All right, everybody. Until the next time we get back together again, I simply do it each week. God bless you and have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, whichever may apply. So long. Oh, we got to go to the ending. See you.